Sources, screen capture. Okay, we're gonna screen capture that. Okay. Link of YouTube live stream.
I think it's working. It's hard because like both of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Signed in my.
There's just see the thing is that yeah, the thing is that the storage it won't even like download anything.
Circles for me.
Really?
But
I'm just like my YouTube says I'm live. Okay. Now we'll really edit your own version of the induction agenda or calendar, and don't use just the one I've created because it's not the full PowerPoint. This is just like an outline to help you. So this is the induction agenda. Once we have output, the PowerPoint link to this, or this link, the induction agenda that's underlined, is going to lead to this spreadsheet, and it'll give you all the links to the PowerPoint that I'm talking about. So here's what I said: the introduction, global volunteer, the customer flow, that's going to be the biggest segment of induction, and then your role and next steps. So before, or all this, this is what is global volunteer PowerPoint looks like. So there's a disclaimer on the bottom, which is exactly what I've said, but this is going to talk about AIESEC and global volunteer. So we're starting here with how. It's very important that you're tying back into AIESEC first, so how they and this product fits into AIESEC's mission as a whole. So if any of you have seen Simon Sinek's video, it's really great about how it talks about marketing from the how, the why, and then the what. So the how is, AIESEC is here to serve as a leadership development platform, and on the right are leadership development model, and we're saying that through being a member, through going on an traits that we want to develop in all of our members and our exchange participants, world citizen, empowering others, and solution oriented. After the how, we can go into the what, or the why, sorry, not the what, the why. So explaining, going back into why AIESEC was created in the first place. It was because after the Second World War, students across Europe wanted to prevent these kinds of conflicts again. So their mission, their BHAG, which is Big Hairy Audacious Goal, is to strive to achieve peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. So what we do it through exchange. So this is finally where global volunteer comes in, because as you see on the image or on the left, we are enabling people to develop their leadership skills through practical experiences in challenging environments. We do this through cross-cultural. is the Global Volunteer one-pager, and it explains clearly what a global volunteer is, like the basic facts about what kind of things we'd be working for, like a non-governmental entity or an NGO. The duration is usually 6 to 78 weeks. Most of the time, it's 6 to 12 weeks. And be that they pay for covers the hosting and some of the meals. This thing is like an external graphic, so you can, or not an external graphic, but you can show it to yours for marketing purposes. You'll see on the right column, it says like, yes, the duration of global volunteers is usually 6 to 78 weeks, but we market it to really 6 to 12 because that's what the supply shows. Now, what are the SDGs and what do they have anything to do with global volunteers? Let me go back real quick. Is that on this left side where it explains global volunteer, it's the United Nations, and they're the 7 goals that we, I believe, 15 years to strive towards, want to achieve these by 2030, and these are goals that the UN has set for us to achieve by 2030, and AIESEC has aligned a lot of our projects. So if you go on Opportunities portal, if you see an education project in Peru, it would align with SDG number 4, quality education. And we'll talk about more of why your members need to know about the SDGs. I also think it's just really cool to say that we're like aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I would with that. Cool. So how is global volunteer different? The reason why you need to know this is because, or you want your members to know this, is because when people are asking for, oh, I'm graduating, or oh, I, like want a 1.5 long internship. That's not really what global volunteer provides. So it's very important that you show them what global talent and global products are like. So if they do have someone that is, better suited for one of those other things, like they want to do a 1.5 long paid, like teaching internship in Colombia, then, global talent is where they need to be going. So maybe a program. So you can still get those people to go global volunteer. And you can also preface and say that, if they're qualified for global talent, they can still do global volunteer before or after. We've had some people choose changes that way. So in this slide, this is where you start specifically tailoring it to your LC's induction, is that, each LC should only have one entity partner. You shouldn't have more than one. You should have one main entity partner. So let's say it's Argentina. So in this slide, you'd edit it in Buenos Aires, Argentina. It has 2 meals provided by the host family. The host family is also provided, and then there's just a $70 TN fee. And you include all of that information here because you want your new members to know exactly what project and all the details of that project so that they can start marketing it for AP recruitment right away. Because what we're about to talk about next is that the biggest action items for your member after induction is to help you with EP recruitment, the trash. You're looking more marketing materials to also include in your induction slides. You can go to bit that we have below, bit.ly US oGV IR, and it'll have all the stuff for like Argentina's EDUCAR project. Okay, so that was what is global volunteer. I sped through it pretty quick, but people are going to have questions, so I believe that section should go to the 30 minutes. But after this 30, what is global volunteer section, the big chunk of the induction is the customer flow. Here is another PowerPoint set that I've created. So just to preface, if you're still like, where are all these slides coming from? Go to AIESECushub.org, and under the materials of team management, it should all be there under oGV Induction Agenda, and everything's like linked to the PowerPoints that you would need. So what is the customer flow? For this induction, like I said, just copy and paste the slides that you think your members will need or what you can cover in the time that you do have. But you want to see this entire customer flow, this customer journey, so they know what should be happening at each. And hopefully at the end of this section of induction, you can do kind of like simulation so that they feel confident to go and start doing work right away. So here, like I said, is the customer journey. It explains what is happening to the person, not on your member side, but the customer. So in attraction, about AIESEC, they're talking about the customer, not your member. And that as it keeps moving forward in the attraction phase, they want to understand and trust AIESEC. That's what gets them to even consider opening an account and applying to for them to move into the consideration phase. So this slide, you can just explain that process. So these next slides really go into what each phase of the customer journey goes through. So I think attraction is definitely one section that you want to spend the most time on. It's like I said, the action items after induction should be mainly attraction focused, because you need to get a lot of EPs in your pipeline for your members to have EPs to manage. So these next set of slides goes through the fact that the attraction phase counts when the EP is open and then when the EP is applied. And it also talks about how do we move that EP from opening to applying, and how do we move that EP from applying to exit. These slides also continue with the consideration phase. So how do we go from accepted to approved? What I think, like, this section is fine if you keep going on your brand advocacy, because they should know the entire customer journey, not just like, oh, after we react, we kind of just stop there. They should, keep moving them through the pipeline. The priority from now moving forward for the should be EP recruitment. So EP recruitment, I know some of you were in the lead nurturing calls, but there's two types, right? There's physical and then there's online recruitment. So it's physical recruitment, tabling, there's lecture shout-outs, info session events, and then online recruitment, social media, newsletters, website ads, and national content. What a lot of your members will mainly be getting really involved in is that physical recruitment. Since our online recruitment is, mainly MC focused, or like handled by the MC, or usually not the members. Besides like sharing content that then on social media or newsletters and whatnot, a bunch of your members work on physical recruitment. Okay, so physical recruitment, for tabling, these are just some quick things I wrote that you should really emphasize to them so that they kind of get a gist of the purpose, right? So for tabling, I'm saying got a few seconds to make them want to talk to you and less than a minute to make them stay. So the purpose here is that you should really emphasize to them, don't just pitch like a 3-minute AIESEC history, as purpose, global volunteers, this, here are all your options. It should really start a conversation with them, approach them, ask them, what year, what their major is, what attracted them to come over to the table, and then tailor your pitch to what they just said. Oh, you're a Spanish major, you're a freshman, you don't really have any experience, and you're looking to do something this summer to change that. So, we have the project in Argentina this summer, and it'll really help if you speak advanced or intermediate Spanish. You can teach English there, and also improve your Spanish speaking skills. You'll be living with the host family, that kind of stuff. So the pitch tailored to them, but you're still promoting the one project that your LC is focusing on. For lecture shout-outs, obviously ask for, but try to give that authentic, yes, you do have a script, try to give it authentically so you don't sound like a robot, and make sure the biggest thing is that they get the contacts and they follow up. So either they pass out a handout or an interest form or send a follow-up email afterwards. And once you get all that information, the best thing is that you email them in 6 hours from that class lecture shout-out. Then with information sessions, I know some members, it usually takes a little time for them to feel comfortable leading an information session. I would say have them watch a few first and then have them do dry runs with you before you let them be in charge of one. Because it is very, can be very intimidating all of a sudden to talk to a room full of people for an hour. Lecture shout-outs are quick 5 minutes and you're out of there, but information sessions, could be up to 30 minutes. And events, they're a combination of tabling and an information session. The thing that you need to really emphasize to your members is that yes, they are pitching, but they also have to be engaging and not just trying to like push AIESEC down the throat. Like, what is your AIESEC pitch, and give feedback from that. Have them do that a couple rounds. Have them do that a couple rounds, and getting different kinds of